Thank you, Mr. President. And I have a little note here on my microphone, and I've strategically placed it in the eye line of the floor manager. There's a lot of notes that he could have taken today on and things to rebut on this, but I think you can, boil it down to 5 words. And it's what I wrote on my Post-it note before we even started the debate. It's not hard to vote. I absolutely reject the premise of this entire discussion that it is hard to vote in the state of Iowa. It is easy to vote in the state of Iowa. And in fact, I think one of our Democratic colleagues told us that it was easy to vote in Iowa. It's also not hard to get on the ballot. I think you need 50 signatures across the hall and 100 signatures to get on the ballot here. And I'm not sure about the bill that Senator Peterson, Senator from Polk, was talking about parents and caregivers outside the Senate and running for office. I'm a parent. And actually, outside of the Senate, Mr. President, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And I'm here, so I don't know exactly why we need a bill to encourage people to run for office. It's not that hard. We've heard about being accused of sowing the big lie that 2020 was all about. I tried to quote some of these things: manufactured, fostered, irrational conspiracy theories. And so I just asked folks to think back in their memory not too far ago to 2016, when we were told that the only possible explanation for the outcome of this election is that Donald Trump, and I'm not afraid to say his name on the floor of the President, Mr. Senate, Donald Trump, the only possible explanation for the outcome of the election is that Donald Trump and Russia colluded. And we spent a whole great deal of time in the Congress, hearings and impeachments and all manner of what I would call manufactured, fostered, and irrational conspiracy theories to bear that out. So what goes around comes around, apparently, Mr. President. And then the other question I would ask rhetorically to the body: is there anybody out there that is offended by this rhetoric that we're hearing on the floor today? Because frankly, I am. Apparently, no one except for the political elite in this chamber is smart enough, able to read, or otherwise capable enough to vote unless some liberal group requests your ballot, walks it to you, fills it out with you, and then takes it back for you. We're not all helpless, Mr. President. Voting is not something that just happens in the abstract, in the ether. It takes effort, not much effort. Take your voter ID, take your ID, go to the polls, vote, request a ballot. Those options existed before the pandemic. They happened during the pandemic, and they will endure even beyond this bill. Every bill, that election bill, and I've only been here for 3 years, Mr. President, but every election bill that we do, we're told is some vile voter suppression effort, and yet we seem to continue to have record turnout. And I've gotten a lot of emails that say, hey, we have good, safe, free, secure elections in Iowa. Why do we need to do this bill now? Well, Mr. President, that seems to be validation of everything that we have done over the past few years. And so to the chairman of the State Government Committee, on which I no longer serve, though I enjoyed serving with you, thank you for all that you've done to apparently, and for all those validating emails that we've gotten from folks. Another comment that I thought was fun, one of our Democrat colleagues said, well, to auditors, well, that's a fine thank you for all the work that they did. And here's what we've got in front of us, Mr. President. We have leftist auditors who are out there emboldened to violate the law, blatantly disregard the laws that we pass. We have radical superintendents in the state who are apparently wanting to blatantly violate the laws that we pass. And so you can call it a fine thank you. I call it consequences. You want to stand in front of the people and violate our laws that the Constitution provides to the state legislature to enact and uphold, go ahead. But the consequences are there for you. And I think it's a D felony, if I remember, under the bill. And then another question I would just ask rhetorically, we were asked, did Republican senators go door to door in campaigning on reducing the amount of time for absentee ballots? And I guess my question would be, did Democrat senators go door to door? And I could have just put my question mark there and ended that. But I said, did Democrat senators go door to door in a pandemic to campaign to do universal or automatic voter registration? Well, in a pandemic, it doesn't seem wise by their standards. So, Mr. President, this is a good bill, and to to observe regular order, I guess I won't ask you what state we're in, because I've been hearing about what's happening in a whole lot of states and what's happening across the nation. But we're still here in Iowa, Mr. President. The sun came up today, and it'll come up tomorrow. This is a good bill. It's good for election integrity. And just in case Senator Smith needs any closing talking points, it's not hard to vote in Iowa, Mr. President. I urge support for the bill.